Good evening. Welcome to my home. My name is Susan Muldowney and I am a member of the Michigan Depression Glass Society. And I have to say I've only been a member less than 10 years and I wasn't really into depression glass when I started. I just was into anything that went on a table. China, crystal, chargers, silverware, tablecloths, you name it, I have it. But then I got more interested in depression glass, and I do have only 4 sets of different depression glass patterns, but I'm not a purist. I know many of the members of the club are purists. They only use depression glass, and they only use them with the set, with the glassware, with the stemware. I like to mix and match. So tonight I am going to show you how you can take a pattern, especially a plain pattern, and mix and match it with different dishes, different tablecloths, different stemware, different chargers, placemats, and make the same pattern pop with all these different additions. So I'm going to start. The pattern I'm going to showcase is Moonstone by Anchor Hocking. I have the luncheon size plate. I have cups and saucers. I have the only stemware that was part of it, which is a tumbler or a footed beverage glass, cup and saucer. It does not come with a dinner plate, so I ended up purchasing their servers or salvers, and or it's also called a sandwich plate, sandwich serving plate. It's got a ruffled edge, which looks more like a server, but it works great as a dinner plate. So this tablescape that I did features a red and white polka dot tablecloth, which I made, and I sewed ball fringe on it. I bought inexpensive red napkins at one of my favorite stores, Home Goods, and I sewed the ball fringe on the end of that, and I also had them monogrammed with my last name. I like presenting napkins this way. Doesn't have to be that way, but kind of makes the table interesting. So on this tablescape, I have the place setting of the server, the sandwich plate, or the luncheon plate, an underplate, and the sherbet. And I put them on top of an inexpensive acrylic charger. This is just a red sparkly charger. This tablescape would look great as a Valentine display or as a Christmas display by changing out your centerpiece. This happens to be Fostoria, Fenton, opalescent, and they look interchangeable. And Fenton made a lot of serving pieces and decorative pieces. This is one of the Fenton vases. So I bought a Oasis or flower foam ball, and I inserted about 25 red carnations, and that way you don't have to fill water in your vase. So if you're one of those purists that don't like to use water in your depression glass vases, this is a great centerpiece you can use. You're still using fresh flowers, but not putting water into the vase. And I also have a set of candlesticks. These little glasses are Fenton. I looked them up. They are considered wine glasses. I don't know about any of you, but this is not a wine glass that I would like to use. You'd have to have a hired staff to make sure that your guest's glass stayed full. It only holds about 2 ounces. But I mixed it again with a red goblet that I bought at Home Goods many years ago, and it just gives that extra little pop of color. So this is it for the red and white polka dot setting. Again, Valentine's Day, Christmas, or just because it's happy and it's fun. And I will move on to the next setting. Well, I did a quick change, and now we're looking at a very pretty pastel palette for spring or summer. I'm really into vintage tablecloths, linens. Again, you can find them really inexpensive at estate sales. You can find them on eBay. And I know what everybody's going to say. Well, I don't like to iron them. I don't like to have to wash and iron them. But what I found is you can wash them and then you can take them to your cleaners, and for a few bucks they'll iron them for you. And they look so much prettier than some of the polyester ones that you can buy. So think about that, and again, you can buy them really inexpensive. So this is a pale pink tablecloth, and I am featuring the Moonstone sandwich plate or luncheon plate, but under it I have a Royal Albert square salad plate called Berkeley Rose, and under that I have a stoneware pale pink. I bought them at Home Goods. They were Easter colors, pink, green, blue, yellow. An underplate. Almost has, you could use it for even like a stew because it does have a little bit of a lip. And then under that, a wooden cream scalloped charger. Pier 1. I miss Pier 1. I wish they were still in business. So you can see how by layering and still using your depression glass, you can totally change the look. The cup and saucer, also Royal Albert. This one's English Rose, but again, it doesn't match exactly the other Royal Albert pattern, but it's real close, and you can easily get away with mixing and matching them. This little plate is from Germany. Doesn't have a pattern name on it, but they all have the gold band, and I'm featuring that with the Depression Glass Navarre stemware, which I have the sherbets, I have the iced tea, I also have some of the other pieces, beverage, but this is the actual water glass, again, for my taste. That makes the nice wine glass. And then I have featured century candlesticks, and I made a small, I have a very small table, so my arrangements are always going to be small. I have a small centerpiece that I made, but what I love to do is make little individual centerpieces, one at each place, just to give that added little extra. And then I really strongly suggest everybody buys a napkin folding book. You can do it online, you can look at the videos online, but to me the book is better. I'm a little slow with technology, and I find that the books explain it better. So you'll see tonight how many different patterns, different ways to fold a napkin. This is strictly a fan fold with a napkin ring, and it makes a very pretty centerpiece. So I think that is it for the pastel. Welcome back. This tablecloth is done in a pastel yellow vintage tablecloth. And again, I used my napkin folding book and created little roses or little florals. And I stuck a piece of rosemary in them. You could stick a little piece of small flower or a piece of greenery. This setting is made to look kind of summery. The under placemats are actually, again, from Pier 1. They're a leaf pattern, quite large. So you could even do this and a charger if you had one that went. And again, I use the silver, the sandwich tray of the Moonstone underneath, because these dishes I purchased online. That I actually saw them in a designer show house, and I ordered them online. There's 4 different patterns or 4 different color themes, but they're made to look like flowers, and they only came with the salad plate or the dessert plate and then a cup and saucer. But they're all done in those pastel shades, so they look really pretty with this color tablecloth. I also made 3 flower arrangements in the Leaf and Blossom by Fire King. So it's a little scallop bowl with a leaf style underplate. Again, I had to put them this way on the table just because I have a very small table. If I was serving more people, I would have put the leaf in and would have extended it, and then they would have fit vertically down the middle. As far as the stemware goes, this is a pattern by Fostoria. It's called Christiana. Wasn't made very long, and it was made a little later in their history, into the 50s. I have the beverage glasses and the water glasses, which again I'm using as a wine glass. And I also have these with the green gem at the neck. Purchased these also at Home Goods for about $2 a piece. And these were a steal at an estate sale. I don't think the lady knew what she had. I didn't know what they were. I figured they were depression glass, so I offered her, these were actually $1 a piece. I bought 32 of them and I spent $30, so less than $1 a piece. And I do have quite a few pieces. I have cocktail glasses, I have some juice glasses, but they're a real pretty pattern. Again, not quite as intricate as some of the older patterns, but still beautiful in their own right. And that does it for this summertime blossom tablescape. Hi, I'm back, and this is a beautiful turquoise tablescape. Again, mostly modern stuff, but I've mixed in some of the depression glass. Tablecloth, again, Home Goods. April Cornell is the brand. She does a lot of florals and a lot of interesting colors. I just took the napkins, pinched them in the middle, and made a little fan type display. And then these are really neat napkin rings. They're turquoise and navy and green, and they stand upright, which is nice on the plate. So again, I have these turquoise iridescent glass plates, purchased them at Home Goods, and I've mixed in the moonstone underneath, and then I have some of the big dinner plates in this pattern. But I think what really sets this off are these beaded placemats. They almost look like peacocks. Purchased them at Pier 1. And again, I used to love Pier 1 because they were expensive, but you could always get it on sale. And then in the stemware, interesting, this is the stemware that went with these glass plates. Hobnail, Home Goods, $3.99. But look how it pairs well with the moonstone that I already own. So again, you could use one for water, and you could even use this for wine or another beverage. And I paired it with the cup and saucer. And then the centerpiece is strictly an inexpensive turquoise glass jar or bottle, and I put one tulip. And again, I have a small table, but even if you had a larger table, you could spread them out a little more, and it's a real simple, anybody can do it, centerpiece. And that concludes the turquoise. Well, hello, I'm back, and this is a pale blue tablescape. I love blue, so this is very near and dear to my heart. The tablecloth is vintage, and I love it because it's sheer in the middle, and it has these beautiful embroidered roses along the middle and on the corners. Again, it has matching napkins, and this time I used a beaded fun napkin ring. And again, the napkins have the corner of them in sheer, and that is the easiest way to display these is like that, to get that point showing. I have a beaded placemat in the blue, light blue, dark blue, and silver theme, which I also got at Pier 1. And I'm using the moonstone kind of as an underplate. That sandwich serving plate is quite large. And this china is not as big as some because, again, it's vintage. This is made by the Community Company, which is also Oneida, the Oneida community. It matches my silverware, which has a spot on the handle for a monogram. Obviously, you're not going to monogram the dishes, but the pattern goes around the edge. It only came in one color. Very few silverware companies made matching china. Oneida made very few, and this is one of them. From the 1920s, I believe the china was made in the early 30s. I'm using the salad plate, or the sandwich plate, underneath with a cream soup bowl, the double-handled cream soup. So I'm pairing this with the moonstone stemmed beverage glass and the Fenton Hobnail opalescent wine glass, if you want to call it that. For the centerpiece, these are vintage. These are depression glass, but I haven't been able to figure out what the pattern is. They're just a real small raised flared glass with some ridges. And again, on my small table, 2 is plenty. And then I paired it with a pair of Fry candlesticks in the cobalt blue. one of my favorite colors, and I think it looks just beautiful all together. And again, I have a set of, these are not old, these are new, but they're silver encased cobalt blue salt and pepper shakers. And that does it for the blue setting. This is my plum table setting display. Again, I purchased the tablecloth at an estate sale. It's very heavy and very nicely made, good quality. So you have to keep your eyes open if you go to estate sales or even garage sales and pick up some, it was very inexpensive. I think I paid less than $20 for this tablecloth with 12 napkins. And again, I went back to using my napkin folding book, and I folded the napkins in this pattern, and then I have these silver beaded napkin rings. So instead of laying the napkin down, which of course you could do, I decided to have them stand upright. So this table setting, again, I'm using the silver from the Moonstone as the underplate. A little bit larger than a dinner plate, so it works great for this. And in purple glass, again, these are Pier 1 products, just purple, dark purple glass. It's a salad and or dessert plate with a matching bowl. And the charger is actually a really heavy silver glass charger. I don't even remember where I got it. It's actually, I've had it a while. And then under that, I used, again, round plate, I used a square plum colored beaded placemat, which I purchased, again, at HomeGoods. So if you layer them, you get the underplate, you get the charger, you get the placemat, and it's all done on a beautiful plum colored tablecloth. If you noticed in the one up here, have some name plates. I ordered these on Etsy. They are lucite, and you can get them in all different colors, and you just send them a list of the names and they will cut them out and send them to you. Very inexpensive, and it makes a really cute, makes your guests feel really like you've gone the extra mile. As far as the stemware, these are silver plated stemware that I have. Again, vintage, bought them at an antique show or antique sale. These are purple stemmed wine glasses, HomeGoods, and these are stemless wine glasses, purple with an iridescent finish on them. So all together, again, you can see how you can mix and match. I don't have dinner plates in the purple, so that Moonstone underplate is perfect if I need the dinner plate for the evening. These are double depression glass candlesticks. And the centerpieces are done in silver plated. These are shrimp bowls from a very high-end old hotel that went out of business in the Atlanta area. So all together, you could see this would be a very pretty either fall or winter setting. And your guests would think you really went the extra mile with those personalized name place cards instead of just writing it out on a place card in front of their plate. Be very personalized to have their own. And that does it for the plum. Happy New Year, everyone. This is my New Year's Eve tablescape done with a very inexpensive tablecloth in silver sequins that I got online at a banquet website. Very inexpensive. They come in a whole bunch of colors, and it really gives that extra sparkle to your table. I added these silk-like table runners with the sequin border, and I did them the opposite way of the table, strictly because my table is small, and it looks better this way. Candlesticks. These are all purchased at HomeGoods. Crystal candlesticks, all different shapes and sizes. And for the flowers, all I used, these are glass crystal perfume bottles. They have the dabber that sits inside of it, and I filled that little vessel with water and just put a single flower. So if you, again, have a crowded table and you need just something small, you can just use one flower per stem. You can use tulips, you can use a small carnation, just some greenery actually, or baby's breath looks good. As far as the place setting, I am again using a charger. Purchased at Pier 1. It's got a frosted edge, kind of looks like ice. And I paired it with the Moonstone ruffled silver as the dinner plate or the underplate. This, for a little different look, this is actually the Fenton opalescent hobnail, but the square version, much rarer than the round, and it came in a couple of colors. I believe it also came in blue, but they're hard to find, and even the cups and saucers that go with it are square. So I'm going to use that as my salad plate or my dessert plate. The napkins are just beaded edged, silver beaded edged napkins, monogrammed, and I folded it into a square and laid it on the middle of the plate. These are actually pewter, not silver plates, so what I love about these is you never have to polish them. These are Jefferson cups. First used at Monticello. He had a whole set of 8, and you can buy them at the gift shop there, and you can have them monogrammed, which I did. As far as the stemware goes, this is vintage Rogers silver plate stemware from the William Rogers Company, and I paired it with, I wouldn't call this vintage, but it's certainly not new. This is Rogaska crystal out of the Czech Republic. It is a pattern called Galia, made in the early 80s, and I have quite a bit of it, so I decided to pair this place setting with the water glass and the champagne flute. Again, they finally learned that people don't like to drink 2 ounces of wine, so this water glass is quite large, and the wine glass is also probably 5 ounces, which is more typical of what a wine glass today will hold. So this is my New Year's Eve sparkly tablescape. Hi, this is my Regal table setting. That's what I'm going to call it. This is not Moonstone. I am going to show you how just changing out your tablecloth can totally change the look of your table. This is, again, a sequined tablecloth. Bought it online, inexpensive, and I am enhancing it with a set of china that I purchased back in 2012 for the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. These were replicas of the dinnerware that was in the promenade deck cabins. There was only a few of those cabins, and they were very high-end. They were the most expensive cabins on the ship, and they had their own china. It is a cobalt blue and gold pattern, and I have underplated it with, these are replicas of President Monroe's service plates or underplates, and of course it has his monogram at the top, or his M last name for his last name, and my name starts with M, so it was a perfect match. I also am using a blue, shades of blue and gold beaded placemat, and these gold sequined, sparkly, round circles are actually a floral decor piece. They were at Christmas time, and I bought them. You were apparently supposed to stick them into your Christmas tree to give it some added depth, but I thought, why not? They're bigger than a charger plate and bigger than a placemat, so they're great if you want to layer. And then on top, I used a Tiffin salad plate with a gold band because the Titanic dishes were kind of pricey, and I only bought the dinner plate and the cup and saucer. Again, I used my napkin folding book, and I created this. It's supposed to be a lily, and again, I enhanced it with the gold acrylic nameplates that you can, again, purchase online. The stemware, this is Morgantown depression glass. This is the water goblet. These are old. I'm sorry, these are new. These are from Bombay, which also went out of business. These are the tallest champagne flutes or champagne glasses you'll ever use, and I love them because they make you feel very, very high-end, especially if you put your pinky out when you're drinking from it. And these are tavern glasses, replicas all in cobalt blue, replicas from Mount Vernon, Washington's home. These would have been used for a variety of drinks. Back then, they didn't have a lot of glass blowers in the United States, so glassware was expensive. So they would buy one piece that they could use for multiple things, such as water, beer, wine, sherry, and all they would do is rinse them out between courses in a community rinser, which is kind of gross. You would sit your glass in the rinser. It had a little lip where you would rest the stem and you would rotate it until you rinsed it out, and then the servant, butler, slave would fill your glass up for the next course. But you'd be all using the same rinser on the table, which today wouldn't fly. As far as the table decoration, the centerpiece, these are just inexpensive blue cobalt glasses, goblets, vases that I put in one single hydrangea. So again, if you don't have the talent of floral design, it's a quick, easy, inexpensive way to do a presentation on your table. This glass right here is not old, it's new. I have quite a few pieces of cobalt. I love blue and I love cobalt, so it's just an added piece for that multi-course beverage meal. And now I'm going to switch out to a different color tablecloth and show you how different your table can look when you change out the tablecloth. I'm back, and this is the exact same tablescape that you saw before, with the exception of I took out the navy blue or the dark blue sequin tablecloth and I put this very elegant gold tablecloth under it. Again, totally changes the look of the table. So just remember, when you're getting out your depression glass and you're setting your table, just remember that you don't always have to use those green dishes with the poinsettia tablecloth, because that's what you always use for Christmas. Think about other ways that you can take your dishes, change out your tablecloth, change out your glassware, change out your underplate, combine it with a placemat, and you get a totally different look. So for the last table setting this evening, I chose a vintage blue tablecloth. A little bit different shade than the first one. This is a little bit more of like a robin's egg blue or a baby blue. But the dishes that I paired it with are actually by Johnson Brothers. They are vintage, made in England. The pattern and the color is called Gray Dawn. They're a really soft blue, almost bordering on gray, but they're definitely blue. I paired it with a inexpensive acrylic blue with a little hint of gold charger that I purchased online. The Gray Dawn dinner plate, Gray Dawn salad plate, and then my Moonstone salad or dessert plate. The napkin fold is called the Blossom, and I made, again, from the book. A little bit more intense than some of the other pattern that I did, the other napkin folds, but it's really pretty when you get it done. This Johnson Brothers dinnerware, I have a lot of it. Service for $12, I bought it at an estate sale. 2 big shopping bags full for $40. I have cups and saucers. I have Demitasse cups and saucers. I have cream soup bowls with underplates. I have bread and butter, salad, dessert, you name it, it came with it. And I even have, and I only was able to get one of them, I have individual coffee pots, which are just so cute. And then the centerpiece is just a gold metallic ceramic cube, and I used delphiniums, blue hydrangea, and accented it with some white tulips. And that is a beautiful blue tablescape, again using multiple patterns and multiple dinnerware. And that concludes my tablescapes, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you think outside the box next time you set your table.